you are going to get the utmost effort all the time. Incognito, Ricky Henry come to mind. Right off the bat. Dominic Crayola, I mean, unbelievable player, leader of that. That one guy that's going Mach 2 needs to drag everybody else along with them. And you have to get to my level or we're never going to really establish this thing as what we need to do up front. That's the player I need to have emerge. From everything I heard, Lutovsky carries himself a little bit differently. He's just an aggressive guy. So to see him in the game and see him playing and maybe just that was a game to knock off the rust in it, get used to playing more and more and more, kind of weaning him into the game. But that person or that player has to be there to lead. That person has to be there to get those things done. And it currently isn't. Now, you can't coach that into somebody. You can't say, hey, I want you to go harder than you've ever gone. I want you to go as just balls to the wall as you got. It's in people to do it. And that's part of what you have to do like an eye to watch film. When you see a lineman, and it's tough to watch line film, if anybody ever wants to come watch lineman film, I'll watch it with you. If you have a lineman, send it to me. I'll watch it. They will jump off the screen. They were usually, if we think just an easy example, way back in the day, Remington and Steinkuhler always seemed to be a half count ahead of everybody. It was great for Dave because he was the center and he could never be offside. So he was just a half of a tick early. Away they went. And away he could go with that aggression, right? Will Shields was phenomenal at it. And I know I'm giving these grandiose examples. We currently don't have those guys. Aaron Taylor, your greats of it, Wiegert, their explosion off the ball in a short area of space was phenomenal. We seem to roll into the block instead of exploding into it. Feet can always be quicker. Hand placement, and you just got to be a nasty. You got to be a bad sumbitch. The more of an ass kicker you are, the better that will all go. And it's a mindset, it's a mentality. You can't play the offensive line position tentatively. You'll get a play. You know that play. They're going to move around. They're going to give you a look you may not have seen. You're going to defer back to the rules you have of that play. If we can defer back to the rules of that play, then you go out, and now there's no more thinking. Everything else is done. You want to go out and you want to whoop, like you want to beat somebody to quit. That mentality, that mindset, I need it to come back. And Donovan is an intense dude. Donovan's an intense guy. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for that to filter in. You can go, listen, you can go to practice. Oh man, we're practicing against ourselves. We look great. We're doing this. We're doing that. If you're not going good v good, you really don't know what you have. Then you get into the game like, whoa, this is going local. And I know I'm not talking about North Dakota. I'm just in general. Match intensity and being that aggressive, those things are all evolutions of this season that have to happen if they want to win multiple games in a row. They're going to have to do. Seemed to me like our upcoming opponents, you've got a chance to see all of them. It's hard for me, and you guys can help me with this. When I watch, I look at this and I see, as I've mentioned, Illinois, Indiana, Purdue, Rutgers even. Maybe this is just me being a little freaked out thus far. Because I said the Northwestern game is the biggest game in 60 years. Biggest game since Bob Devaney coached. No free ads. I need to get some tape over this cup. I needed them to be out and be in front of it, right? And to be dominant, to have ass kickers not magically appear, but be available, or I could see something of it. When I watch those other teams, to my eye, they look quicker and they look faster and they look different. And that scares the living shit out of me. Not gonna lie. I'll never lie to you. But that scares the shit out of me. Really, really does. I mean, you're watching this and I'm like, everybody told me, oh, Illinois, cakewalk. There's no cakewalks for us anymore. Like we have to eliminate that mindset. Brad Bielema beat us in his first year with guys that didn't really know what it was all about. And I know they're playing Indiana, but I don't know if we're at a different level than Indiana. I don't know anymore. We're not at a level we want to be. So I have to find a comparison and play it there. Everything that they want to do, everything that they have to do for the season is fixable. Unfortunately, I'm going to say this. Some of it is athletic. I think they are athletic kids. For whatever reason, they don't have the foot speed up front that I thought they would. So now I got to get it to attitude. Now I got it. You might be quicker than me. You might have better feet than me, but I have to be so precise and angled. Now my margin for error is gone. Okay, take this for what you will, because I can't even coach it right now, because we just go out and wing it on Fridays. I have a good friend, Trudy's listening, and her husband, Kevy, down in Florida. Hello, Roth Rocks. Brenton says, I feel like our guys don't have that winner mentality. It seems like every time they play, they feel like they can lose. They need to think they're better than every other team when they play. Coaching is off. The mind is a powerful, powerful thing. I've talked myself into thinking that I'm good at this, and that I have a few 700 people that already follow our Facebook page. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. YouTube, we're working on that. And then we're on Podbean as far as if you want to re-listen to the show. I told myself over and over again, you can do this. Because I don't like this. Like, this camera freaks me out. But I'm doing it because I got to get out of my comfort zone. Always, every day I try to get outside of my comfort zone. That attitude of walking on the field is when you are in a mindset of, I could not be more prepared for what I'm about to do. Okay. That's when that mindset comes. So that's why for years, I've always asked about the preparation. Coach Osborne, back in that day, the game to Coach Osborne was an afterthought. I've never met anybody that loved preparing for any, like an event, more than he does. Almost in a psychotic manner. Like, to everybody else, the preparation is for the end product. I want to get to the game. Coach Osborne was like, no, I want to get to the practice. Like, I want to make it better here, so when we get there, it's easy. So the winner mentality that Brenton is talking about is from that preparation. You guys have listened to all forms of media. You get the old heads on there. What do we talk about? All the time. All the time. Hones your mental ability. It really does. Because you've been through the fire Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're just walking through. You've been through all of this. You're so prepared that there's literally nothing that they can throw at you that you don't have a rule for. If you know the guys that are with you have prepared as hard as you have. When everyone is going to be their best every day of the week, early in the week, now the game becomes easy. And I know that's crazy to hear people say, but the game becomes so simplified when the preparation is to a level that you didn't even think you could get to. And that's where the phrase, the devil is in the details, always resonates to me. Listen, I own a restaurant. I don't want to prep. I don't want to cook meats and cut green peppers and all this. But if I get great at that, or if I get my staff great at that, that becomes an afterthought. Oh my God, we need to do bam, 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 bam because of this. Okay, great. Defer back to what you're taught. Follow through. It's going to take less time than you think if you just stop thinking of it in such a negative manner. Okay, great. Away we go. Prep done. We're off to bigger and better. In here, it's the 4,000 breaks we take to get on our phones. Go make sure we haven't missed anything in our 33 seconds of work. Just kidding, staff. I love you. But that's why when the games happen, that's why I still have questions on preparation. Because it seems things catch them off guard. Okay? It seems like the intensity of the game isn't lesser than the intensity of a practice. If you're fearful of depth, you already have that fear. So right now, if I can go into practice and I can make that as hard as possible for everyone. Right now, what's that? For everyone, I might find a player on a much smaller scale, much, much smaller scale. But first coaching gig, Ryan Twilger is the head man. We're doing some stuff. He says, oh man, we're short on players, da-da-da. He says, hey, let's scrimmage. Let's get everybody involved in this. Let's find it out. Okay, so we get everybody going. Everybody's smacking. We're hitting, tackling, having a great day. And this kid just keeps showing up and showing up and showing up. He's a little runt. Mitch Bargeman is his name. Shout out, Barge. But Twig's like that guy. He's always there. Always. Always doing it. He wasn't even one of our starters. And you just phase him in the game. And then he plays and he plays and he plays. And he ended up being one of our best players on one of our best teams. Given the opportunity, kids will rise to the occasion if it's in them. Some will wilt. That's okay too. It's better to figure out in the practice than in the game. So if you get them going and you get that thing physical, now you may find some more players in some of the positions where you have depth issues. Now you have more. You got to get them in that spot where it's full go against your best. If you're fearful of injury, you can't be. You can't live that way. And it's not the thing. I could walk outside and get hit by a truck. I mean, I could at any point in time, somebody could walk in this door and go crazy. But I know I got 2-3 guys that they're going to be right in the middle of it. So you got to put them in those kind of situations, and you got to get it to where you can find more players that you may not know about. But you got to give them that chance to prove it, to show it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll keep going on this venture. We're in it together. We got 12 games for sure. We're guaranteed of that. We'll be back after just a quick short break here on Husker Hangover. Welcome back in, everybody. Matt Vrzal hanging out here on a Sunday morning. Cam Broham. Mixing it up on the ones and twos. YouTube is good to go now. Yes, sir. YouTube's good to go. So we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook Live. Podbean is where the podcast is currently. Here's the thing with all this tech stuff. You got to like submit shows. And you got to listen to them. Making sure I'm not MFing everybody on here. Just a bunch of cuss words or weird stuff. We'll grow this thing as we go. We're going to organic. People ask a lot, why'd you leave terrestrial radio? Well, I needed it. A lot of you that know me know I'm not real good at working for people if I don't feel they have everybody's best interest at heart. If I have to lobby to help certain people that are helping me get paid, that means you don't give a shit about what we're doing. You just care about your bottom line. And I'm just dumb enough to be dangerous. So I said, you know what, we're going to venture out here. I tried for about 4 months to get in contact with some people, JT, and got no response. So my man Cam said, I'm your hucklebearer, and we'll go give this a shot. If you are interested in sponsoring the show, we'll put your show or your business or your foundation or anything on a little banner there that just stays at the bottom of the broadcast on both setups. It's pretty affordable right now if you're interested. We're not looking to make a whole bunch of money out of this. We just want to get out good information. If you do want to email me, you can email me huskerhangover@gmail.com. I just pulled that up. And our good buddy John, who was a loyal emailer of the old show, but still emailing us now, says Nebraska had to grind out a win against North Dakota. There was nothing that they did yesterday that showed they will win more than 2 games. They got a win. It allows Trev to wait until the buyout drops before he fires Frost. There has been no improvement. The clown has to go. If you're going to look at I think we would all be fine if progress was being made. Okay. If things were changing and we were evolving into something that you can see the end game. You can say, this is where this is going. I get it now. Yo comprendo. I got it. But in year 5 of this, depth should not be an issue. Especially now that you've gotten acclimated to the conference, which we haven't. You should have. I know in this Big Ten world that I've got to have, I'll be honest, I got to have 8 to 10 defensive linemen that I know if I put them in the game, it may not be my highest level, but it's going to be close. Okay. And I can, for lack of a better term, steal a couple series of rest. With teams no huddling, I have to be able to fire some guys out there and say, you're going to be out there this whole series, get a 3 and out. And then we'll rotate it all back in. Because the grind of it is later. Your grind for Nebraska is on the back end. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. And I don't know what order they're in. That's just who we play. But that back end of that gets rough. Gets physical. Maybe it's a better term. It gets real physical. So that's where that, coaching staff's in charge of the roster. Roster's got to have more depth than does. You can portal me. You can, kids leave. I get it. I think we had the most of anybody in the portal this year of people coming in. Kids will stay where They feel wanted, and they feel they're improving themselves. They can see a light at the end of the tunnel. This is what I have to do to get to where I want to be. That message, more now than ever, has to be conveyed every day. I have to tell them every day, this is where I see you. How are you doing? How's school? This is blah, 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 blah. That's why the CEO role as a head coach has changed so much. Osborne had guys that would just relay that message to you. Support staff, academic staff, assistant coaches. That was their gig. People now feel entitled to the direct touch. I got to have the head coach ask me. And Osborne asked certain guys. He didn't ask turds like me. He did. He asked me. But they want to know that the one in charge values them the most, regardless of where they are. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's the way people are now. I live it. We do a We Care Wednesday every Wednesday. People want to come to me to book them. And I'll just be like, hey, really appreciate it. We're going to get you booked. If you just call this number, which is the house line, which I should put on D&D because it might ring here in a little bit, put it on there, and then they'll take care of you. Everybody wants the direct touch. I get it. So that's why more and more I try to be out in front and not having to be in the back and making the pizzas is where I'm just shaking babies and kissing hands. That's my role. But I also have to make sure my team knows that if something goes bad, I got them. I'll be right there beside you. Don't sweat it. Travis says nothing new here, but our defensive and offensive line looks slow and plodding. Our defensive line plays with poor leverage and no strike in their hands. At what point do we start throwing the stink out of Mr. Duvall? I don't care that if you can hang clean 400 pounds and that strength, the explosiveness doesn't translate between the white lines. There is a devil in the details. You can be as strong as you want, okay? The agility of it and how I translate it, that right now is, if I'm going to say something where we're furthest behind that, is that. You can be crazy strong. You can lift a house, but if you can't take that explosiveness and propel that through, and I don't think you can limit. I don't think you can limit the offensive defensive line to that. When are you seeing jarring hits from linebackers, from safeties? You know, those hits that from a time gone by. Oh, here I'll use Ricky Thanars. Ricky hit you. In that hit, you can't fear the miss. I think sometimes we fear the miss. But the explosion with the hands into the opposite body, I'm with you. When they play their odd man front, that's a little more read and react. I think that's why we don't see those jolts from the defensive line, because they're all three of them are two gap players, meaning they have to play both their left and the right side. If you get into an even front, you have one gap, and it's a little bit easier to be more explosive. I think it was Deontay Thomas, the smaller of the guys in years past. He had really explosive hands. Like he could whiplash a center's head. I mean, like he could snap somebody back, and man, I liked him. A lot of talk as we're looking at the Facebook page. Thank you guys all for the comments. Keep them coming. I'll scroll through them and just try to read off as many as I can. I got to stop reading people's last names, though. I'll just start saying first names. Garrett Nelson, to me, and the main topic of conversation that some people are going back and forth on the Facebook page is energy, is that effort, right? He will bring the juice. He will be excited. He will be excitable. And his sack in that game, that was a flashback of the speed and the hitting that I'm used to seeing from Nebraska football in my brain. You see flashes of it, right? You see that's it. Do that all the time. You're not going to find a kid more passionate about it. We had great responses after the game when asked about it. And I'm doing my job. This is my job for us to succeed. This is what I have to do. Terribly, terribly summarized what he said. It was a very good job by him. Right? If you watched when it happened, everybody then was excited on a special teams aspect after that change of possession. But if I get a big play where I feel everybody is super hyped about it, I'm going punt block immediately, just on the chance that I get it. And they did get one in the game. That sideline that everybody should have been going crazy. They were. Then that's got to build. Now your offense has to take that juice to the offensive side of the ball. And they've got to go. And now you've got a snowball where the energy or the juice never lets up. It never eases up. It never goes down. That's what I miss. It's not a coach's job to get you excited to play. If you're not excited to go hit somebody besides one of your teammates, maybe that's not the game for you. If you have to have somebody slap and yell and scream in your face, you can't do it every play. You can do it in pregame. You can get hype in pregame. Coach yell and scream and spittle flying out of their mouths. You can do that. But after that, between the white lines, it's on you. You have to do that. You have to bring the juice. You have to be the one that wants to be the guy that plays his ass off correctly inside the scheme to benefit your teammates. That's what it's about. That's where it goes well. I will never ever fault Garrett Nelson how hard he plays. I said last year he was the guy that made the most progress to me over the season. There were times where I watched in this last year, man, I don't know if he grasps the concept. He goes hard. He's out of position. He will give you everything he's got, and then it's cool to watch. Really cool to watch. You got to have more guys that want to match. You have more guys that want to play with that love of the game, play with that enthusiasm, play with that fire. Be the one to make that big play. Maybe more so be the one that trusts the teammate to do their job so you can make that big play. More of his attitude and more of that filtering down into the team is awesome. You get that to happen now, you can have different discussions. Some of these games that have me nervous now, if I know I have, I'll just say an easy number, 8. I got 8 guys, 4-4, offense, defense, that play that way. All out, passionate, fun. I'm not saying the guys aren't going hard. There's always another gear you can find. If they play that way, now you're cooking. Now you got some things that are different. Now you don't have to worry about these little weird lulls where nothing happens. You pull yourself out of it. You're coached in this. You're given the blueprint to do it, and you have to go out and execute at your highest level possible all the time. If you're fearful that they're going to take you out of the game, you can't play that way. If you're fearful you're going to get tired, you not only have to trust the guys you're playing with, you got to trust the guy behind you. He can come in for 4 or 5 plays, 3 or 4 plays, whatever it is, and get you your oxygen back. You can go back out and do what you were doing again. Those are the realities of his effort, his enthusiasm, his love of game and love of just playing is awesome to watch. But now it's you're trying to find more guys that play that way. You have more guys that have to that have to do that life. My good buddy Brian and Grandon said we need that pizza in mentality. Pizza Inn was the first football team I ever played on. That was back in the day, out in the 308. Ed says it just feels like we got to work so hard to get anything. Whole other teams don't, and we just look tired all game. I agree with the work. It seems we have to work hard to get at sometimes very little. Now, where we look effortless is the first few runs of our pass stuff. Like those are nice. We're in rhythm, balls out, balls caught, back to the referee, jogging back to the huddle, all those great things. But I do agree with you, especially on the running side. The running side of it always looks difficult. We're having to make moves sometimes in the backfield. I shouldn't say all the time. There are times when it looks smooth, but you've got to get it to where the harder times are a one off. The harder times are a one off, and the ease is the reality, or the ease is the frequency, right? When we have a bunch of those in a row that are going well and everything seems fine and away we go, that's got to be what you strive for. You have big human beings. They're explosive. They're powerful. They got to get that stuff. My guy Gabe out in Gretna says, "Are we underestimating the level of play in FCS football, especially with the transfer portal? Look at what SDSU did against Iowa." There is some of that. I've taken nothing away from North Dakota today. North Dakota came in and said, "We're in. We're giving you everything we got." And they, even for their aspect, I think their offense is usually known for a little more gadgety play, a little more, reverse pass. They didn't even do that. They found that their zone plays would work just fine. I said, okay, 32, good running back, running downhill, running guys over. He was in the end zone, by the way, on that first one at the end of the first half. I'm not sure what the officiating crew or the review was looking at. I didn't think any part of that kid was down. There is truth to that. There is truth to the fact that more people are going that route because of the flexibility of the NFL. Like if that's the end game, I'm not saying everybody that's playing college football is going to get to the NFL, but right now, you can go anywhere. The NFL will find you, and if you go the FCS way, there's more than enough guys that are playing in the NFL that played in the FCS. If I was a slot receiver, I'd be FCS all the way, and Bill Belichick come take me in the 22nd round. I'd be doing great. And I'm not even a Patriots fan, because God forbid the Bears would do that. Um, there's truth to that. That's a great point, Gabe. Is that there's more and more people that if it doesn't work out at the higher level, they go down to FCS. Great football played, as Nebraska learned, physical football for 3/4. Did Nebraska learn that lesson? We're able to overcome it by the end and win by 21, not cover, didn't touch it. Um, Football is football, and it's a great game, because unless you're so talent disproportionate, you got a chance. South Dakota State gave Iowa everything they wanted and more. Parents model work. Get two safeties in the game. First time since 2000. Two safeties, one game. Defense outscored the offense. Got to a point where he needed to be punted. Team executed, getting people down. You can play boring football, air quote, and win. You can do those. Jeff says, too much fake tough guy mentality in the program. You have guys on Nebraska's defense yesterday making a tackle after running back getting 4 yards with defense players jumping around like you just made a goal line stop. Win the Big Ten title. They don't deserve the tunnel walk or the pregame hype music until they have a winning season. Too many coaches there wanting to be the player's friend rather than their coach. That is something that raised a flag for me. Some folks in here were watching the game, and it was a 4th down play, and North Dakota, I think it was 4th down play. North Dakota might have been 3rd. Clearly makes the catch. Clearly is past the 1st down marker, and we're celebrating like it was a stop that won the game. It's like, man, know the room. Like, you're in one right now with North Dakota. I understand the energy, but if you didn't know where the sticks were, that's a problem. If you thought he dropped it and it was incomplete, that's another problem because it was a clean catch. And they still have the ball. Going backwards a little bit and just being workmanlike. This is my job. I'm going to do my job. It is my expectation. Okay. There's no celebration in it. It's what I'm supposed to do. Now, if I get something where I go out and I shit stick somebody, I'm celebrating. Right? If I hit somebody hard, whiplash ahead, I'm good now. You bet if we blitz and the blitz gets home, I smoke the quarterback and ball goes flying up in the air, we intercept it, I'm celebrating that. 4th down, clear catch, past the line. Celebration. Like, I didn't get it. I'm with Jeff on that though. I want the kids to have fun. I want them to do their thing. But you got to know the game. Like, you got to know what's going on. This is your job. You're supposed to make that tackle. Verge, your next step is to do your show in front of a live audience and sell breakfast pizza. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. We have the capability. We have no rules. We have no overseer. We can do whatever we want. Looks like we get about 30 people in here right now once we get the chairs moved around. So instead of me having to get here early in the morning on my one day to sleep in, I'll get at her earlier and throw Sean some pizzas. The rarely seen, often requested Paisan's breakfast pizza. Patrick says, is Frost trying to get fired before October 1st? I can think of 7.5 million reasons why. No, he's not. He's not. Evolution is hard. Personalities aren't people that will give up duties they think they should do. There's no part of him that's trying to get fired. There are the only thing I can do is put it in a business sense for me. I know without a doubt 100 out of 100 I can go in the back room and I can whoop those kids' ass making a pizza. I can throw it, sauce it, top it, get it to the oven, cook it better than they could ever imagine. Except for maybe one. He's pretty good. But I also know that if I don't teach them, trust them, and have them do it, I'll die in there. I'll die back there. You'll never see me. If I can't turn over that control to them, I can critique them. At the end of the day, the customer isn't going to know the difference. I'm the only one that's going to know the difference. I really am. Hey, you're about 3 ounces heavy on cheese. If you could just back that down, that way I don't have to work till 99. I can retire at 98. That'd be awesome. But I have to give them power, and I have to give them control, and I have to let them do what they're taught to do. Can I go back in and brush up and say, hey, what are we thinking here? Why did this go this way? Had a little gal last night, handled it beautifully. Okay. It was busy. She's handing out pizzas. She forgot one. She grabs the pizza, pshoo, like a shot. Old Lex is out the door, trying to find the car, lays in, car's gone. I see her coming back inside. She's 16. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not supposed to take the pizza. What are you doing? Goes, here's what happened. We got busy. I forgot to give them this pizza. They had 2 separate orders. They merged them together. I didn't hand it to her. I went out to see the car. I couldn't find it. I'm going to go back to the phone. I'm going to call them and tell them we forgot it. Come it back. Because I'll get it back to them, discount it off the bill. And I just kind of stood there, stock judge, just like I looked at the camera. I was like, yeah, that, go get them. So she did. That's when the error happened. That's what happened. That's what we do. So for me now, I don't have to check on Lex. I won't. She knows what she's doing. If I hire them, I train them, trust them. Right? I've hired a coordinator. I've sat with them. This was the decision I made. I'm hiring you to call the plays. I've got to trust you to call the plays. I can have input. I can have comment. I can say, I'd like to see you do this. And that then should, through mutual respect, should be done. Because at the end of the day, it's my job on the line. It's my livelihood. That back and forth, right? That respect. I never in a million years would think Lex is going to roll in here and be like, yeah, I am not handing out any right pizzas today. Screw this fat bald guy. I ain't doing that. I'll show him. I got to turn those reins over. Right? Crew in the back on Saturdays. I'm in search of an alpha. I have a bunch of dudes that get back there. They work hard. They love talking about these video games. Love it. Oh, and then I did this and the thing did that, and I don't know what happened there. And then this guy came and I won. Dude, how about we take the same juice, the same energy, and focus on getting these pizzas out to these tables or these cars a lot faster than it's going? And all I really got to do is sit around the corner and say, hey, daddy's going to come work here pretty quick. And then we start getting moving. Because they don't want me back. They want to be in control of it. Is what they've been taught to do. I've got to relinquish that. I've got to trust that every day. Now, they will mention, if you get, if I have to cover a shift, which I cover shift. Man, it goes a lot smoother when you're back there. Yeah, that's kind of the deal. I try to eliminate all chaos for you guys. You try to make chaos for me. That's our relationship. But overall, you defer to the relationship. I show them respect. They respect me, I think. And away we go. That's how it works. I think that would be very helpful. I thought a good one on here and I missed it. This is the thing with me scrolling. My fat fingers aren't good at it. Cam, by the way, Patrick also tells us that YouTube is cutting out. Oh, never mind. That's better. Chris says a win is a win, but that team is a disaster. Hitting without wrapping, not always finishing plays. There's some ballers and true tough guys, but not enough to scare other teams. Tackling cannot be repped enough. Okay. Especially in the area of competitive catch, where we're getting team unis to go out and play catch. There's no tackling in that. So now tackling is an onus. I tell all the youth coaches every year, if you want to put your kids and your team in a great position to succeed, teach them proper blocking form. You can find it on YouTube. I'll come chat with you. My guys currently now aren't executing that. We'll get that fixed. But teach them that. And I don't care what style of tackling you coach. If you want to teach rugby tackling, great. If you want to teach old school traditional, shoulder into the rib cage, head across front, rip, wrap, run, good with that too. Teach them how to tackle. Teach them how to block. Watch your success rate go up. Watch it. You do those two things. Your kids are going to love it because all them little muscly guys that they want to go be, the game will be fun because, hey, that guy that just broke through that line of scrimmage made a bad mistake. I'm about to go lay a hit stick on him and see how bad he wants to come back here. Your offense then will start to operate smooth. Billy, we're running into the 3-hole. We do not need to cut back to the 8-hole. There is no cutbacks. 3 holes wide open, just run there. Teach them those two things. Everything you need to know is on the internet. You can YouTube it. You can stop in. You can find it. But that's something that I think really, really good college coaches still spend a lot of time on is form tackle because they know the kids they get aren't being taught that. I agree with that. The tackling, there cannot be a hit and then 5 more yards. There's got to be a hit and then you going back 2. That means I've efficiently delivered all the force. I've run my feet through that. You're going backwards once we make contact. Is it going to happen 100 out of 100? No. But I get it to happen 98 out of 100. That's pretty good. I think that's realistic. I really do. Trust my eyes. Run to the ball. Rip, wrap, run. Down he goes. Oh, Patrick may have some breaking news. I'm not sure if this is a portal thing. He says, bye-bye, Ramir. David says, functional strength as it translates to the field. Can lift a Buick, but can't move 290-pound man. What good is that on the football field? I agree. We mentioned it. We talked about it. We're having all kinds of struggles today. Nelson, this is from Brenton again. Nelson is learning to fill his new leadership position. He has what it takes. He does. I mean, I'll give. I was hard on that kid, real hard on him. He has come quite a long ways. Quite a long way. Initially, I don't think he understood the full grasp of the role of the position he played. He thought he could do the things he did at Scotts Bluff and be the most strongest, dominant, athletic kid out there. Now he's realized he's got to fall back to technique. He's got to fall back to the team. There are still things he can get better at. And a couple times, if he's playing at a defensive end spot where he's outflanked, we'll just say tackle, and that tackle releases inside, he's got to make sure he goes with that tackle. He's got to get his hands on him. He's going to shuffle 2-3 steps inside because if something is leaving with the tackle, something else is coming to get you. That may be a fullback, that may be a guard, that may be a tight end on a wham type of situation where the tight end on the other side of the field will just come over and try to smoke you. He closes that gap down by jamming with his hands. Then now that play has to go outside. Now all my safeties and my corners and my linebackers can run and get the play. I've got to make it bounce. I think spill is the term a lot of people use now. But I've got to make that bounce outside instead of being able to run inside where they want me to be. Because that tackle is going to hit my linebacker. I'll grab my whiteboard and draw it up here when we go to break. That tackle is going to hit my linebacker. Somebody's coming to hit me. If these two both succeed, there will be a crease there that they can run through. There will be a crease that they can go through. So I've got to make sure little teeny tiny things like that, but those come through repetition. Take the aggression you have and just work on that technique. Boom, 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 4 steps. I jam down. I can see that guard coming to hit me. I'm going to hit him first. Now the play's got to go outside. Now I can rally and chase and help my buddies. Every part on the field has to play together for it to work. Great secondaries are made by great defensive lines. Great secondaries are made by great defensive lines. If I know my defensive line can get pressure in 2 seconds and they're running a 3-second route, I'm going to win. Because now my coverage doesn't have to be as tight. I might get beat temporarily. But that quarterback isn't as comfortable as he was throwing the ball. Every part, every piece matters. And I got one guy giving 100-mile-an-hour effort. I got to get 11 guys giving 100-mile-an-hour effort. When you get 11 giving 100-mile-an-hour effort, you're an 8-win team, 7-win team. Legit. Believe it. We get 4, probably 5 or 6. We get 2, probably 3. Match the intensity of your leader. Make it so you don't have a luxury to not be that guy, to not go above and beyond, and do your job correctly. Still got guys out of place sometimes on the defense. You got to make sure that you do that. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with more Husker Hangover here on our Facebook Live, on YouTube. We're working out all the technical difficulties. The podcast will be on Podbean sometime early next week. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Matt Vrzal. This is Husker Hangover. That was my marker. We are on the internet, hanging out with you. I got Cam here mixing it up on the ones and twos. New person in business. I like whiteboards. Thanks, Cam. I like drawing plays. We're going to try this. If it confuses you, just tell me in the comments to leave it alone. But, okay, so disregard the one on the bottom for right now. Don't pay attention to this guy. All right? So this is what I was talking about before as far as play design. This tackle is going to run himself inside and block the linebacker. These two guys are going to double team here, the nose guard back to this linebacker. These guys on the backside here, they just have to cut off, make sure that guy doesn't get up the field. Okay? So what I've done here is I've just drawn the players move to their location. So this is the tackle. He's blocking the linebacker. The guard and center now are double teaming, trying to get to this guy. But if you can see just in the whiteboard. Now, for those of you that aren't whiteboard people, every play ever drawn on a whiteboard will always succeed. It's the greatest thing ever. Every whiteboard play. But you can see by this guy vacating this area, the distance that's created. So this defensive end can smash down here and make this contact point happen at there instead of over here. Now this back, the hole he wants to get into is different. You give your linebacker a chance to get over the top, and then your safety should be filling through there. So that's just kind of a visual representation of what I was trying to explain there for you. If you want plays drawn up, let me know. I like drawing plays. It's pretty fun. We do it every Monday night, mom football. Here at Old Paisans. Some good comments coming in. Brian says, what bothers me about it is that the fans are saying those who question what's going on are calling out shortfalls, then we're not true fans. This is where the experiment has come to. Okay. You have those that feel that they're on board 100% committed to it, away we go. Then you'll have those that say, if you're not with me, then you're against me. If you don't believe what's happening, then just get off because you're not a real fan, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You can be right in both. You can be right in both instances. You can have people, we have it in life. You have people that will just blindly follow. Trust the process, I believe, is the Sixers motto. I'm more along the lines of my eyes in my life have yet to lie to me. And doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result is the true definition of insanity. When the product on the field doesn't change, changes need to be made in the preparation. Changes need to be made in the concepts. Changes need to be made in the mentality. If I look at this and all we know are facts, okay? A 7-point loss, a 3-point loss, a 6-point loss, 5-4-1 are all have one thing in common. They're all losses. Okay? When you get over those humps and those 1 point, 3 point, 7 point, 6 point losses become wins, now you're turning a corner. But they're not. I don't get to say, we almost got your pizza right. You don't get to say, we almost, whatever line of work you're in, did that job correctly. Right, wrong, indifferent. At the end of the day, it is about the left column or in the right column. Wins are on the left, losses are on the right. That's fact. Any person that's competitive knows that. Any person that wants to win, do everything possible to win, understands that. Left column never lies. The right column never lies. When the time is exhausted, this is the result. Okay? I get more mad and people say, oh, well, if you're not in this 100%, then you're not a true fan. I get more mad when people tell me how close we are, but we lost. A loss is a loss. There's no. It doesn't work that way. It just it just doesn't. In no form of life is that true. You have to. You have to start to find a way to convert these close things into victories. There was a guy that rocked the almost always almost win shirt. Eliminate that mindset. A loss is a loss. Now, not all losses are created equally, but it's still a loss. You learn more in your losses than you do your wins. I'm a big believer in that. You have 30 instances where you should have learned from that, should have moved on from that. But I mean, I get it in the comments, I get it in the emails, same thing over and over and over again, same thing over and over and over again. Do the same things over and over again. You find a way not to put yourself in that spot, right? Northwestern, if we look at revisionist history, was there to take. We did onside kick. Yeah, did it. Execution of that outside the hash, you might get it. You might. You still had 4 minutes left in that quarter, 15 minutes in the fourth. What happened? You have to be able to pick yourselves up from adversity. You have to fall back on training to get you out of a rut. Believe it. Anytime life goes chaotic, I have to fall back to what I know. Have to. When we've had great teams and things aren't going well, they default back to the basics. Give me this play. I will make it work. We will make it work. It's a great thing about Term. Term will walk in a huddle, crazy, tense situation. What do you guys think? This. And he trusts them enough to do it. It means a lot. 1 point loss, 50-point loss. I would rather you destroy me. Beat me the way Bennington beats us. Beat me like that. So now I know I have to go back and reevaluate everything. Instead of beat me by 1 point, 3 points, 4 points, 5, 6, 7. Because those will haunt me forever. Those little losses. The curb stomp, just got whooped. Go fix it. But that's a loss is a loss. There's no, it isn't win, close loss, loss. It's just win, loss. Simple. Greg says, what do you say about the argument that they're just kids and they're trying hard and any honestly or negativity hurts more than it helps? As a former player yourself, what's your response to someone that says that? If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. I think I'm not really hard. I mean, I understand what the question is, that there's people that are hard on kids. My 2 cents, when you bring money into play, okay, we're going to give you NIL money. Anytime money gets tied on, you move a little bit further ahead in adulthood. So you want your NIL money, I'm going to treat you like a paid player now. We have no problem criticizing young NFL paid players. Maybe a secondary thing of NIL that people are going to feel a little more likely to say, hey, player A, B, C, D, you got no problem shooting little commercials and driving around your new car. I got to see something translate to the field or I'm going to have a lot of questions. It's the way the world is. If you can raise a kid that can take criticism not only from you but from other people, your kid will be ahead of a lot. A lot. You hire one of my kids, which I would highly recommend. They'll work. You can criticize them. They're not going to get in their feels. They're not going to. They're not going to do anything like that. Greg says at the end of the day, football is wins and losses, and the truth is the wins at the end of the day are 15-3, not acceptable anymore. A lot of people moving into that camp. I think people have given it time. It's 5 years, a long time. 4 years and 2 games, a long time. Close losses can't be the light at the end of the tunnel. Wins have to be. Wins over Power 5 teams. Wins where you're down at halftime and you come back out fired up and ready to go and you change things. We see those things. We see that progress. I don't think anybody's having any discussions. We can see it. We can see what it is. Right, wrong, or indifferent, jet lag, perceived lesser opponent, don't come out fired up to play. That's on you. I got a lot of old guys that would kill for one more game. They kill for it. We love it. It's awesome. Jeff says, I'll add one further to Jeff. I understand wearing eye black during a football game. I did it when I played. But somebody needs to tell these guys, this was back to with the kids celebrating. But somebody needs to tell these guys that were able to overcome coaching to win a game against an FCS team to quit putting WWE face paint on their faces. They look like this is Jeff. That's a little get off my lawn guy, or John. That's a little get off my lawn guy. They're gonna do that. We got a freshman plays for us. This makes my brain hurt. He's a great kid. Talented as well. Standing at the freshman game, talked to his dad. Said, yeah. Said, boy, he got a lot on there. He goes, oh yeah. We went to X place. He goes, we bought home gloves, away gloves, practice gloves, arm sleeve, calf sleeves, towels to coordinate. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't even know if I can talk to you. I was like, I have to go now. I have to walk away from this. I just can't. What? I didn't know what to do. It's completely I was like, what? The freshman. Get him one pair of shoes, get him one pair of gloves, get him a towel. Like, good luck, buddy.
Did he buy him a matching purse and everything too?
No. He's tough. He's tough. He's a good football player. He's a good kid. Like, man, just draw a line in the sand. Be like, you know what? I think you can figure out to wear one of your game gloves in practice. I think we're just gonna do that. Give her a shot. But great family, great kid. It's eliminate the freshman kid. Guys that I had the pleasure or the fortunate nature to play with, less was always more. Outside of some terrible tattoos, they let their play talk, and that's what made them awesome. They were some of the best people, human. Jeez, I should not say like that. Look at it, toad. That was yeah. I'm with you. You know, a little eye black thing under your eyes, I'm sure helps with. I was a lineman. I never did that and wore that stuff. I didn't have to catch the ball. Everybody's got their own way. I don't think you can curtail it. I think a new policy maybe would be something you could put into place. The guys that want you to see their face paint, except John Randall, John Randall proved he could wear it. If you want to do all that, prove to me you can do it. You throw all that stuff on, do your thing. What are your thoughts on Casey Thompson? Man, the kid is an enjoyable side of consistency from Martinez. Casey, when he's on a clean pocket, is good. Balls on time, balls in the right spot, caught, all those things. with what he has up front right now, there's going to be some breakdown sometimes. You're going to the scramble play against Northwestern was awesome. Kept the play alive. Good gain on it. You've got to just some little subtle things just to move. And I'm not a quarterback. I really have no issue. I think he'll continue to evolve. And he's going to know, hey, when these calls happen, when this play is called, I got to watch out for that. A lot of people asking me about Teddy being on the right side of the line of scrimmage. I think they just ran a tackle over formation, meaning they took Teddy from the left tackle, moved him over to the right tackle, and then just slid the tight end in there. I haven't seen that play again. I watched the game a couple times. I just forgot to examine it more. When he got beat inside there, he overset just a little bit. Your goal at that tackle spot is you want to set yourself foot mid-crotch. So when you take that step with your outside right foot, you want to end up in the defensive lineman's median, right down the middle. He got a little too far outside on that. Guy slanted in and straight to the quarterback. He wasn't able to react on that. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. John says, you're right. I'm get off my lawn, guy. And when jackasses come to my door trying to sell me solar panels or new cable, they feel it. Johnny, you need to look at them solar panels, buddy. Get you off the grid. But yeah, overall, we are what we are. The fixable part of the game is all there. All right. Those that have listened to the show this is now the 7th year. Yeah, 7th year. Jeez. We've laid out the blueprint for it. It's just now a matter of if you want to interact that blueprint, if you want to do those things and change. At a place I used to work at, if you would always say, if it isn't broken, break it. Meaning if you're going along humming and everything's just hunky-dory, break the system and find a better way to do it. Meaning you've mastered the current system, which we haven't. Break it and then try to do it better. So that's why in here, tell the kids, hey, this is the way I want you to do it. If you can find some way to do it better than I'm doing it after you've mastered my way, go ahead. Tell me. But master my way first, then we'll do it your way and see what happens. So I think that's good, but where they're at now, that the process, the preparation, it's got to change. It's had to change for 2-3 years. So that's something that I think they can look into. And I'm not saying grandiose changes. I don't think plays need to change. I think the rhythm, whomever was in the rhythm of the play call, second half, that's where I would head to it. I would make sure that again, God, man, we just have to repeat so much stuff on the show all the time. 6 to 8 plays that you're awesome at. You've seen every defense imaginable. You've run them against the 9-2. You've run them against the 1-10. Just any and everything, any defense. Just get back to very, very simple basics. Keep it as vanilla as possible and just be great at those plays. That would be how I would attack it. Greg says, what's going on with tackle play? Right side is always getting blown up again yesterday. What are a few things that we're going to have to do to increase protection as we get better competition in the weeks to come? It's worrisome to say the least. Right side of the line. Now, there's a lot of ways you can get real creative in pass protection. You can do what they call a slide. So say your main targets are on the right side of the field. You from right tackle, right guard, center, you can just slide everybody one man to the left, have your running backs go block the end man on the line of scrimmage. You can have chip help from a running back. They're really good at it in the NFL, where you have guys that are kind of engaged, and you'll see the running backs come and throw a shoulder right into the rib cage of the defensive lineman, slow him down a little bit. Play action pass is always good, but to do play action pass, you have to establish the run, hopefully at that person. So there's a lot of ways you can combat it. It's just a matter of executing that once you get that going. To me, there's got to be a part of you that just is tired of being beaten. And if that's the guard or the tackle or whomever it is, there's more than enough time in the day for a college kid to go get extra reps on your technique to make sure you're figuring out how to use your explosive power and transfer it out. Um, repeat, repeated thing. You gotta get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You gotta get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you got, you know that that's not acceptable for what you're trying to get done. You have to be able to fix that. And you can't fix it. You got to put somebody else. I wish I could tell you I had somebody on the offensive line was a highlight for me. I couldn't go back and watch the game 2 more times. Like something comes to me, we went out. They've got to be the bell cow. You keep Thompson clean, things go well. Things are efficient. When the pocket gets muddied up, and I know the pocket's going to get muddied up, but I'm talking like guy 2 inches from my face, 2.5 seconds after the ball snapped. It's hard to make those reads. There's got to be a little bit of root hog in there, an old Milt Tenniper thing. If you ever watch hogs, they just root down in the mud. Sometimes you have to dig a guy out with hand placement, with foot speed, with power to get them out of there. All mindset, all mentality, all repetition. Teams that are good can do things over and over and over again. Teams that are good can have, if one goes down, another one comes in. Yes, John, it's been 7 years. The fix is there. It's just got to do it. On to Georgia Southern. Thank you, Jesus, that they don't run the triple option anymore. The Helton cat from USC is coming in to take that over. Your talent level that you're going to play this week will go up. The speed that they possess will go up. Hopefully, our guys believe more in what our coaching staff is doing than Georgia Southern believes in what they're doing. This is not a game to take lightly. This is not a game to sleep on. You are going to have to come out and play well. And you cannot, said week 1, all of the luxury is gone. There cannot be a slip up. There cannot be a bad quarter. There cannot be a bad 3 series in a row. Georgia Southern has talent, has speed. Helton, as the head coach, is probably a benefit for us. No word of a lie. But we've got to make sure game plan is locked, tight, and right. Everybody from the top to bottom believes in it. Everybody's got to be pulling the same rope, the same direction. Whatever, if there's tension between position groups, players, coaches, whatever it is, got to eliminate it and say, hey, we're here for this win. We put one in the left column. Let's see if we can put 2 in a row in the left column. We'll worry about Oklahoma when we get to Oklahoma. But we need to be raring to go. Do you know what time that kickoff is? 11 o'clock kickoff? We got to be raring to go at whatever time they decide to kick that game off. Things I need to see in this game are displacement of the offensive line. So meaning we're first contact for the running back is made 2 to 3 yards downfield. I'll take that for right now. 2 to 3 yards downfield. What I was hoping would happen is that North Dakota would get under control very early in the game, and then we could see some younger guys in. We could see if maybe we could find a diamond in the rough, a player that we could count on, be that offensive line, defensive line, tight end. Which congrats to. That was good play design on the touchdown to the tight end. So you find those other little hidden gems. You find those guys in those teams. You catch players completely off guard. We've all got a story. Third series, like Vrzal, go in. Serious? Not fourth quarter. But you got to get those guys in, get them that opportunity, get them that chance. That's why, all due respect, that's why North Dakota's there. To get ahead, or I wasn't joking when I wanted a 70-2 game. In reality, what I got was 38-17. Wore them down completely and were able to score late. That's fine. They scored. Remember, I'm in camp. Just win, baby. Just win. All I need. I don't need covers. I don't need all of that stuff. We have a 6:30 kickoff. You can just cut. You got a mic. Just chime in there. Be under the lights. Everybody will be good and tuned. Get a couple pops before the game. It's forward progress has to be made. I think between the Northwestern game and the North Dakota game, I don't think progress was made. I don't think it regressed. It was about the same. Now you're playing another game, and you've got to. It's got to move forward. It's got to look crisp. It's got to look clean. It's got to look energy filled. And if they come out, and maybe it is an era where night games are the thing. If you want to get to night games only, be a night game team. But right now you're a 2:30 team. You're an 11 o'clock team. If you want to play those games at night and it gets hype and you can get all the fans yelling and screaming and doing whatever they want to do. Bo Richter, thanks, Brenton. That was kind of cool. Those brothers on the team too. So you got to dab it up. If you want to be a night game team, play like a night game team. Make it so those stations that are giving you billions of dollars, make sure they want that Nebraska game at night, because the product on the field is what it is, not the legacy of the past. That's what you've got to strive for. That should be the discussion in meetings. If you're looking for a theme, some people like themes. No time like the present. Those that were wavering, kind of wanting to buy in again for the 6th time, probably didn't help the cause there. There's no time like the present to get them back on your side. And go on a heater. There's nothing that says you can't. I don't know how good UTEP is, but Oklahoma looked pretty good. You have to come out now again and strive for dominance. Ooh, maybe that one's better. Strive for dominance. But go out and dominate the game. Dominate the offensive line, dominate the defensive line, dominate the yards after catch, dominate the yards after contact. Dominate tackles for loss, dominate tackles. Dominate unassisted tackles. Meaning you got me in space. It's me and you 1v1. I tackled you by myself. I didn't need anyone else. But get in a mindset of domination. Get in a mindset of kill. Get in a Terry Connealy mindset that when you buckle that last strap, the wires cross and it all goes crazy. And God help the guy across from you, because your sole job is to destroy him, destroy his will, and make sure he never wants to play you again. Get into a mindset of dominance. You can do it. There's no doubt in my mind. But you've got to want to do it. You got to want to take those steps during the week. You got to want to, if you're in meetings today, and you get done, dominance has to be what you're thinking. Dominance has to be, we have to shut everybody up. We have to shut the nation up. We have to shut, we don't even have the luxury now to make a smart football play in a game, which is just a squib kick. That was not an onside. That was a squib kick. They just wanted to tumble it down the field just to make sure nothing weird happened. No return for touchdowns. We ricocheted a squib kick off a guy. And it was national. Ha 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 ha, Nebraska. Ha ha ha, look at you guys. You are under the thumb. Take notes. If you ever do turn it around, you make sure you step on every one of them on the way back up. I got a long list. Book's full. My Iowa friends, you rightfully talk it. Talk all you want. Wisconsin people, talk it. They're 8 in a row. Iowa 7 in a row. You got long losing streaks against teams. But get in a mindset of dominance. Get in a mindset of what I'm doing isn't being efficient on the field. I've got to change this. I've got to change how I prepare. I've got to change how I study. I've got to change how I do everything to get yourself in the mindset of dominance. And when you get out there on Saturday, that game becomes easy. That game becomes easy. You guys listen to all of us Huskers, old Huskers, talk about it. The game was easy. The practice was hard. You can dominate both sides of that. When you're dominant in practice and you're dominant in a game, the game's a reward. The game's the cherry on top of the sundae. The game is the release for everything that you had go bad in that week. That's what it is. Johnson Ford, progress has not been made in 4+ years. Don't expect to see it now. Frost and his team is what it is. I just got to keep. I just got to keep towing it. I'm as insane as anybody. I've run my head into this preparation wall now for 4 years, and I'm good with that. I'm good. I'm good. It is what it is. I've gone just about to the extent. I did make sure that I blocked out time. It's one of the few times I was able to watch about 85% of the game as it was happening. But that juice just wasn't there right out of the jump. That juice to go and let the bodies hit the floor, take names, whoop ass, all that stuff. Maybe it's just a world of nice guys. Maybe we got to get rid of the nice guy mentality. That's episode 2. We got 10 more to go. Hopefully they're all up from here. They've taken the recommendation, changed the way this has gone. We can wrap this thing up and start stringing W's together instead of L's. We got to boost that left column. Facebook page, YouTube page. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you guys all for chiming in. It's been great. Podbean is where the podcast will be. Follow all the social medias. We'll keep to grow this thing. I got some shirts and things that are going to come out. I just need somebody to help me with some graphic design. If you know anybody, works on the cheap, let me know. Matt Vrzal and Broham. Husker Hangover. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a great long weekend.